Welcome everyone and good morning. Welcome to Sendian's webinar. My name is Shirley and I'm a project manager here at Sendian. And it's a pleasure to have each and every one of you here with us today. We have an exciting and informative session ahead and we are so grateful for your attendance. So thank you for joining us today. Here at Sendian, we specialize in providing comprehensive services and solutions. And as Infor partners, we offer managed services and assistance across various domains, including implementations, integrations, development, training, and more. We extend our services beyond just Infor, as we also serve as Microsoft partners, providing a wide range of IT services, which allows us to offer a more holistic approach to your technological needs. The purpose of today's webinar focuses on the new Infor OS and its key features. And our presenter today will be Javier Silva. He is one of our system administrators and IT support managers. He will guide us through the intricacies of the new Infor OS, providing valuable insights and practical information. We've structured the session to ensure clarity and understanding, and we'll reserve time throughout the session to address any questions you may have. And with no further ado, I'll go ahead and hand over to Javier.
Thanks, Charlie, and welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining our webinar about the InforOS portal. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So as Charlie mentioned, my name is Javier and I'm a technical consultant here at Sendian. As you already know, I will be presenting this session today. And our main goal is for you to see the new features and capabilities that comes with the new portal and how it compares to your current main goal portal. So real quick, what is InforOS for those that are not that familiar with it? So InforOS, among other things, it offers a user-friendly interface that allows users to navigate and interact with different applications seamlessly. So the vision here is to, with InforOS, is to streamline global functions and ease access to information to increase productivity. So here is what we will be discussing today in the slide that I'm presenting now. And that is some information about the trial period that we're on, the effortless navigation, the smart panel. We'll be going over workspaces, widgets, announcements, and then we'll try to have 10 to 15 minutes of the Q&A. But as I go through the sections, I'll also be, stopping and asking, see if there are any questions that are related to that specific section that we just covered. Please try to use the Q&A in this call as much as possible to prevent distractions. I know we're used to the chat, but it's really hard to try to keep track of the actual questions from the chat itself as it is from the Q&A. So just keep that in mind. And also as a disclaimer, this call is being recorded, and by attending, you give your consent to be recorded. So moving on, a little bit of history here. So in April of 2023, Infor started to provision the new InforOS on a region-by-region basis to thousands of tenants. As of June 16th, all tenants had been enabled with the InforOS trial mode. So what is the trial mode? Well, it's an adoption period where the expectation is for customers to be familiarized with the new InforOS features and capabilities. So then in April 2024, everyone will have InforOS portal as the standard user interface for all users. So let me go ahead and move on here. This impacts admins as well as users, right? The biggest impact of the actual InforOS frame is on the admin side, since applications really remain the same, at least from the InforOS change perspective, right? I think we all know that there is also the new navigation coming up, so that will impact how the applications look. So hopefully you guys are already looking into that one as well. We might display here, and I'll show you what the difference is, just in case that some of you haven't looked at that. So this slide has changed since the last time I presented this, And it is because last month, CU came with a change that affected how users access this new InforOS. So the application is no longer looking at the portal-user security role to allow access to the new portal, right? As soon as this was enabled for the tenants, if you had the Infor-system administrator or the Info or the Mingle administrator security roles, you had access right away. You could add the V2 syntax in the URL, and then you will land in the new InforOS portal. And to allow, that's as a system administrator, and to allow your users the access to the portal, then you have to provide them the portal-user role, or the portal-content administrator so they will be able to work with Workspaces. But that changed, right? That's no longer required. And let me show you here where you will see that coming. If you're not reviewing the release reports for the CU, I would highly recommend that you start doing so, because that's where these changes, where you can see the changes coming for that month CU. And also, of course, the Hans Mueller calls that are very, very good, and they go over these things over and over again. So here you can see and read that, it's the removing the check for portal-user role for a user trying to access the trial mode. So it's no longer needed. And what's new is that there will be a button, so with the ability to launch and try the new OS portal in trial mode. Let me show you how that looks like. And here, I'm pretty sure you used to see this screen. This is your Mingle. Can everybody still see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, awesome. So this is how your Mingle looks like. And here is that new button that I just mentioned, right? So that was not there before, before January. And where you would find more information? Well, in Concierge, I just want to quickly show you here, because I found out that, I sit in several of those calls, and I see many people asking, where do I find this and where do I find that? So if you go to the knowledge base articles tab within Concierge, you will find that in the most read, actually, because it's a hot topic right now, you have this InforOS portal migration details, which I recommend everybody to go and review. And here you will find this information and everything that's related to this new portal and the migration that comes with it. So a couple of things that I want to highlight here. See how it says that this KB is only applicable to multi-tenant customers, as OS portal will not be released for single tenant or on-premise. Well, but then down here it says that for single tenant and on-premise customers with a multi-tenant OS component, then this will also be required for you to migrate to OS portal by April 30th, 2024. Recommendation is that if you are unsure about your single tenant or on-premise, you should email this address here. So I'm going to copy this email, and I'll put it in the chat so you guys can have it there, just in case that you're not sure if this applies to you or not. Now, this is the part where I was showing the new button and how it says that the user no longer require the portal-user security role. Setting is now here in the Mingle admin menu. You can enable or disable that button. And let me just quickly show you how easy that is. So we're talking about this button up here again. You just go to the admin settings if you are an administrator, down on general settings, master portal settings, and all the way to the bottom, you'll see this new section with the try the new OS portal. And if you just uncheck that, save it, okay, and if I refresh, that button is no longer there. Now, does that mean that your users cannot access the new portal? No, it doesn't mean that. It just means that you hiding the button. So you will need some communication within the organization if you don't want, for whatever reason, your users to get to the new portal, right? So because even if you hide that button, they can still, or the users that are on this call, you can still add the v2 in the URL, v2 syntax here, like this, and then you will get to the new portal since the application is no longer looking at the security role. Let me enable that again, because I want to show you how the button actually launches and takes you there. There is another recommendation, by the way, now that we're here in this page, to disable these notifications once that when the final migration is going to happen, because if you don't, you run the risk of getting notified from Mingo. Let me read you that better straight from here. Okay, so while you are in the admin, and by the way, is this big enough, or do you need me to maximize the letters? I don't know. Let me just do it because I think it make it bigger. Yeah, maybe this is better. It could be small. So while you are in the admin settings in Mingo, Infor is just suggesting for you to uncheck those two settings that I show you to avoid receiving emails after finalizing the Mingo to OS portal migration. This section here is the part where they explain that you can still use the v2 syntax in the URL and it'll get you to the new portal. Down here you have the migration, which I'll show you as well on how that looks like. But basically this is, I won't go in depth here. I would rather have you go, and if you still have questions after reviewing this KB article and looking at the PDF and the videos that are about this migration, that you go and check with Infor directly, because several things are changing here and there. So I just want to make sure that you get the information from the source directly. But this here is for you to test the migration and make sure that there won't be any issues with that final migration. These are the settings about the selections on the tenant data and the user data, if you want to bring their bookmarks and the home pages and that kind of thing. So finalizing the migration, the recommendation is that you open a ticket with Infor. This here is the parameters for that ticket, the selections and the things that you need to tell them. And then, while Infor recommends performing that final migration on the customer's behalf, you can also ask for them to skip it if you feel that you have run the migration yourself and what you have now is what it is. It's what you want to keep, and then Infor can just keep that final migration for you, but you need to let them know. Yeah, this is important. It's non-reversible, and it's not, you cannot go backwards. Of course, non-reversible there. Okay, so a lot of people have the question, okay, but once this is done, if I have the old bookmark that is targeting my current Mingo without the v2, that's no problem. You'll get your users will get redirected to the new portal regardless. You can see that here. So automatically you will be redirected. Now the recommendation is that your users start creating a new bookmark with this new v2, with the v2 in the URL for the new portal, but they will be redirected regardless. And towards the bottom here, you can see the attachments that I was telling you about. I think there are like 6, and several of them are PDFs with a slide. There is information more in depth about the migration tool and the instructions and things like that. And this 45-minute recording that is very insightful. So I just wanted to show you this KB article, very important. Let me just grab the link real quick, put it also in the chat, so you can go and check it out later. All right, and then last thing is this, the release center. I also noticed that many people still don't know where to find the release information and the calendar when it's happening, this and that. So here in Concierge as well, a couple tabs or items below the knowledge base article, you have the my release information. And here you can see things like when is the next maintenance happening, which, by the way, the coming one is now in February, so this Saturday. And then you can view the calendar. Down here, this is where you will get the release report. There is a KB article up here that teaches you how to read that release report. And basically, you download it and you can filter by the specific release, because these are documents that are live and they keep adding to it as we go into new releases, right? So you have to filter it, and then in this example, it'll be February, and then you can see bug fixes, or if there are enhancements coming, and that way you are aware, staying ahead of the game. When the changes actually get applied, you know what's going on. So we do this, and whatever we think is relevant, we run it by our clients, but it's always recommended that clients themselves also go over this. All right, so let's go to what we came for here. Enough of that. And did I put that button back? I did. Just need to refresh. Okay, so let's just go to HR Talent, for example. I just want to show you that the application is basically the same. So let's just launch the new portal. This is how it happens. You click that button and it opens a new tab. So meaning that you can run these two in parallel. As you can see, they're both open, running on the same browser, no issues, right? So I can switch back and forth and you will hardly notice any difference in terms of the application itself, right? This area here in the middle. But the frame, it does have some differences. So let's highlight those out. We have on the top right corner here, you have the bookmarks, you have a share button, you have this for your inbox, you have alert, task, notifications. This is your menu, and you have Common AI. If any of you are using this is where you will find it. And then on the left, you have your 9 dots there with access to your application. So this is the application menu. Now, here you see you have 9 apps, and then if the app that you're trying to get to is not part of this 9, you have to go to another page. And then if it's still not here, you have to go to another page, right? So that's different in the new portal. Also here, let's say I have, let me show you here real quick, that I have burst. It's right here, right? This search, if I try to find burst, it doesn't show me the application burst for me to quickly get to it and launch it, right? It's just information about some people because it's looking at Mingo application as a social application, not the OS. So here in the new portal, you can see that I don't have the bookmarks here on the top right. I don't have Common AI up there. And the navigation is way different here. This is way helpful because it gives you everything you need in this one drop down here. So you have 3 sections so far. You have the bookmarks, you have applications, and workspaces. Now you can rearrange these 3. how you can put bookmarks first and then applications first. I've seen many questions on this one, especially from the administrators about being able to manage this for the entire organization. And right now, I don't believe that's possible. And the last call I heard that Infor was going to probably look into it because many people were requesting it. So, but right now, the way you have to manage this is here in the menu settings. You go in as a user, and then this displays here on the left where you can grab it and drop it. And that way you move, okay, and move it, and you get this pop-up telling you that changes have been saved. So that's what it is, at least for now. Also, you can manage the number of items per section. Out of these 3 sections, how many items do you want to show every time you display that menu? So right now I have it on 3. If I do, I don't know, this is 7 or 5, and I go back, then when I expand applications, now I see 5 applications. And same for workspaces, it will be 5. If I had 5 bookmarks, it will be the same. So it's all based on usage there. You have a recently closed tab here that is really nice because you can quickly see, go back to the pages that you had open at some point, and you might not remember how to quickly get to those or what have you, and then you can just click it from here and it will launch it as a new tab, which is the next thing. These tabs here on the top, you don't have that with Mingle, right? If you want to duplicate, if you want to have 2 things open at once here in Mingle, you have to duplicate the tabs basically, and then it becomes a lot of tabs here or up there in the browser, instead of just having them here in one place and be able to switch back and forth with no issues there going from one to the other, and you don't lose your position within the page itself. These tabs, you can rearrange them as well. You can pin them. When you pin them, you can log out. When you log back in, they are showing. They're already open and showing there in the frame. You can set them as home, and it will work unless your system administrator or your organization set a specific home page for all the users and enforces that to you guys, or if they use Workspaces, that will also affect what you get as the home page. But if nothing is set for you, then this is how you will have things as home pages. You can also bookmark the page. And you have a last little thing here, drop down, where you can also see some recently closed tabs and the ones that you have open. And this is helpful when you have many of tabs open, which, by the way, you can have, I believe it's 30 at once, like consecutive tabs open. Default is 20, and then again, customers ask to be able to have more. So Infor allowed that, and they bump it up to 30. But the default, it still comes as 20. So you have to go into the OS portal settings here. And then you can see that here, maximum number of tabs. It comes with 20. You just do 30. And as you can see, I cannot go past that. So 30 tabs, and it's the same for workspaces. You get 20 as the default number here. You can come in, bump it up to 30, but that'll be it. What happens is after you've created 30 workspaces, then it won't allow you to create 31, one past that 30 number when you try to do add workspace. All right, here's where you also find settings. And by the way, this portion here is what's most impactful for your system administrators, because it's way different than what we see in actual Mingle, where it's all here, and then we use to the either admin settings or user management, and then from there we go to the different other things. Here is all, this is completely new. Even here you will have apps like the IDM or the document management. Security is right here. You get Ion is right here. The data fabric, the new the app designer for creating the custom widgets for your company if needed. So this is the part that's most impactful in terms of UI changes for the system administrators. You can see this is all the same right now for users. All right, and so here is where you would also select the home selections for your users. If you are a system administrator, you can do application, you can do the first application in the navigation menu. That there you can make changes about the home button. Do you want the Infor logo? Do you want the company logo up here? And other important things is, are you going to enable the standard workspaces, private workspaces, the default workspaces and mandatory workspaces? And we'll come back to these ones because they're a bit different on what they do and what the user can do based on if it is a default workspace or a mandatory workspace. Okay, so here in this same menu, you get the announcements as well. And now that we're here, let's quickly do something here. Let's schedule an announcement because I have a workspace. This Sendian homepage, for example, is something that we use to test. See how there are no announcements right here. Well, if I come back and I schedule something for today at what time do we want? What time is it? 11:30. Okay, so let's do 11:35 a.m. Apply that, and then let's just do today here again, and 10 p.m. is okay. That's fine. I can preview it here. I can, if I do this, this is how it should look like, as you can see. So I'm going to close that, save it, and now it's telling me that the status is not yet active because we're still not 11:35. But we should see it. So I'm just going to leave this open around here, and we should see it display in this widget there. Right, let me go back here. Here is the migration tab that we were going over earlier. This down here is the log. And for us, it literally takes 2 seconds. You can see it says 2:20:48, and then it was updated on 2:20:50. By clicking on the start button, it doesn't start anything automatically. It just launches this first, where you can enable this to test your migration and see if there's anything that would fail or not, right? So I can start this, yes, no problem. I give it 2 seconds. If I refresh this, I got the log. You can see it took 2 seconds, like I said. Now it will only migrate things like new settings, something like that. If no changes have been made in any of the things that have been migrated before, then it will be at 0 in these things. So see, like 0 out of 181 applications. Well, that's because only changed settings are migrated. Okay, so you can go down this log. I personally haven't seen how the errors look like. So I don't know if it's going to be in red text highlighting, telling you, hey, this is wrong here or this won't go. But I'm sure there will be some sort of error there that you just have to spot out and check it with Infor or your partner to see what could be done. Important thing about the settings is also allowing, if you would be allowing for export and import of the workspaces. The reason for that is if you don't let's say you make changes here in this new portal while it is in trial mode. Well, those can get washed out once you run your final migration, unless you export that new workspace that you created and then import it back once the final migration happens. It's a thing with widgets and things like that. Any metadata change that you make to the new portal while in trial mode can get overridden by the final migration. So keep that in mind. If you have been creating workspaces, creating widgets while this is in trial mode, you want to make sure that you save that, you take a backup of that on an export, so you can then import it back in once the final migration happens. Okay, so do we have any questions? I think I've been going on for a while now.
Yes, we do. So the first question is going to be, is the recording going to be shared? And I can go ahead and take that. Yes, it will be. And then also the PowerPoint slides will be sent out as well. And then Javier, a question for you from Noel. Our organization is choosing not to use Workspaces. I've already disabled Workspaces in the portal general settings, but Workspaces still shows on the left-hand navigation menu. Is there a way to remove Workspaces from this menu?
I would check on this. Do you have them enable what it says, the enable private, enable standard workspaces, or the workspace catalog? Because this is where you would allow those there because they're already published. The thing is that in your current Mingle, you have the home pages. These workspaces that you're seeing here are also in Mingle, right? If I go to home pages, they're coming over with the migration, right? So that is why they are by default enabled on your new portal. But yeah, you should be able to disable, like unpublish the ones that are published there. And now that does that answer your question? No.
Noel responded saying, I've disabled all of those. And so I guess it's still appearing.
Okay, then I would try coming here into the actual workspaces, and what you're seeing is probably this the standard ones that you have published, that you have allow your users to see. So this is where I would make changes to the security settings to disable it for the roles that are enabled right now. So this is the place where I would look at next.
Okay, sounds good. I'll let you know if there's a follow-up to that. But other than that, those are all of our questions for. And if anyone has additional questions, feel free to use the Q&A.
Cool. Now that we are
Thank
there,
you,
yeah, now that we're with the workspaces topic also, you can add like make changes to the deliver workspaces, like this payables manager, for example. If you want to edit it and make changes to it, you have to create a copy of it. By coming to the three dots here, you can duplicate it, and then I think I already have one copy of that one. And I usually leave the copy. Like this one, for example, see how it says copy. You can see there is a little edit button here on the top right corner. That's where you will go. But I'm jumping ahead to Workspaces. Let me just follow my start here. Otherwise, I'll be all over the place. Okay, so that was the effortless navigation. Is basically this new menu, which is search menu, by the way, that I didn't cover. This is different than this search menu. If you remember, if I try to find an application here, it doesn't give me the actual application. But here it's different. This is a search bar where you can search for and index stuff that you have in this menu. So if I do burst here, it does show me the burst application, or if I have any bookmark that has the word burst in it, I will also see it here. So this is a search bar for these sections here. very helpful. So next, it will be the smart panel here on the right, and I feel like I have to start going a bit faster. So this smart panel here, you can pop it out, meaning that you can select this and it will launch it as an external little window, and you can make it bigger, smaller, split the screen and things like that. Or you can simply just expand it. It has three sizes. This is the shortest one. You can put a little bit more there. And if you try to keep going, then we'll just go full on screen. So you can bring it back, you can have it like this, or you can have it more. As you can see, the screen adjusts to it. So here you only have these three sections because right now I'm in a workspace. It's the same if you are in the OS here. You will see these three options. One is the Infor Common AI. I'm not sure if any of you are using this, but basically it's Infor's artificial intelligence, and you can ask questions and things like that based on the packages that you configure for it. This is the common inbox, and it's common because here you have, if you remember, back here you open this and you have inbox, the alert, tasks, notifications. Each of these have their own space. Here is they're combined. You have your tasks, your notifications, and things like that in one common inbox. And this down here is the smart help. I'm loving this feature because it's actually really, really helpful, at least in my opinion. So let me show you a quick example. Let's say we go to settings here, and I want to know what is the anything about the workspaces and things like that. So if I come here and I just do read more, it gives me information based on the screen I am on, right? And this is pulling it from the docs at infor.com, I believe. So you can see how it goes in the same order that is here, basically. And let's say enable workspace, import and export, standard workspace, workspace and exception. So here you can just go down and find what you're looking for, and then read on it. Sometimes the information is right here on this page, but I found out that coming to this smart help here is you just have more information about it. So let's say this one here, mandatory workspaces, you can see it right here, and then it tells you what it is. And the difference between these two, this one can be removed by the user, the default workspaces. The mandatory one cannot be removed by the user. It's like the main difference between those two. Now, you have these three, as I was saying. If you are in an actual application like Infor HRT, you get this other little section here, which is for widgets. Extremely helpful as well, because you can start adding widgets here, documents, a web page, an image. You can add things that will help you with whatever it is that you're doing on the actual application. So it's widgets to support you on the job here. It can be notes, uh, really, really helpful. I think I have an example in one of this. We just have to find it as we click around, but actually I know what it is. Down here is this one. And if I expand this, so you can see this is a workspace created from an application. And I've added these widgets on the right here to support me with what I'm doing on the left. Now it can be anything. Like I said, this is a random image here. As you can see, you can just edit this widget and make this image whatever it is that you need for this to help you here. You can have a website with a button that will launch that specific website. you can have important links, and this is a really nice widget here that it will take you straight to concierge. I can click this and it will launch a new tab with concierge. It can take you to InforOS. It can take you to the user settings. Even here, if I click it, it will take me to my user settings. Let me go back. And this one, it takes you to the docs.infor.com, or it's basically what this smart panel does. But instead, it will be in a new tab, right? It just takes you here, and you can search for the relevant information there. So very, very helpful. And you know, I can think in a ton of ways of using that. Any questions about the smart panel before I move on to workspaces?
Yes, Javier, we do have a question, but I don't think it's related. So from Robert, he asked, InforOS does not impact security, correct? Security is replacing Mingle as a single point of administrating first, landmark, M3, IPS, etc. Roles are still processed through ION, correct?
Well, so InforOS has the IFS, Info Federated Services, and that's what pushes your security around. So let's say you have InfoHR Talent, for example, and you have FSM, Info Financial Supply Management. By coming into the security here in IFS and adding the role to any of these users, you can add a role there. That's gonna, ION is gonna take it and pushes it out to all the applications. So it knows what the security is for that user. If you go straight into InfoHR Talent, you can, you know, I haven't done that in a long time now. I use IFS for everything. But yeah, here you also have security administration, and you can add specific security roles to your users from here as well. And then ION will do its thing. And you can review the what happens with that. You can come here and check the connection points, and if there are any issues with unhandled things or handled ones. And here you will see the record about that security role getting pushed out for that specific user. But it also depends on your specific setup. You know, I know there are different identity providers that you're using and different connections for your InforOS. So if it's not the simple one that I just explained, then we will have to look it on a case-to-case basis.
So, thank you, Javier. We have one more from Noel in the chat. She's unable to post in the Q&A, but it's a screenshot of the blank workspace that is still showing in the left-hand navigation menu. Is there a way to get rid of this?
What is this again? Sorry.
If not,
from the navigation menu? I think he's talking about this here. And I believe he's talking about getting rid of Workspaces option altogether from this menu, right? Honestly, I haven't tried this. Really good question, but I haven't tried that. I couldn't post this in the. This is the blank workspaces that is still showing. Oh, I see. Yeah, so you were able. Okay, so yeah, no, I was the one that asked a question about the workspaces. So you were successfully able to get rid, like, not show any workspaces. But what you're asking now, if there's a way to remove this option completely from here. Really good question. I don't think there is. If there were, it would be here, and I can right click this. I don't see anything to take care of that. Yeah, so now I totally get your question from before. No, sorry about that. Yeah, so really good question. It might be, you know, it might come with what I was talking about earlier, that Infor will try to, or I think they were going to work on allowing administrators to set this up for their organization. Like to have administrators say, okay, I want the workspaces first, or I don't want workspaces altogether, like you're saying. I think it's a really valid question and a good thing to bring up for an enhancement, maybe. But yeah, I totally get your question, and no, I don't have an answer for that one right now. I really don't know how you could get rid of this. I don't think it's possible right this minute, unless there is some, get into a customization or something which I'm not aware of. I don't know, honestly. Any
And
other
for
questions?
now, those are all of our questions. And so if there's anything else, please use the Q&A. Thank you, Javier.
All right, cool. And we're almost 10 minutes from the hour. Okay, so the rest will be workspaces, widgets, and announcements. Oh, let's check on the announcement right away. So here you can see that this widget is no longer blank. Now it's showing the announcement that I schedule. I have noticed that if you have this open and the announcement kicked off, you might have to refresh the screen like I just had to do, because it doesn't like auto refresh for obvious reasons. You don't want to be working on something and then the screen all of a sudden refreshes, but just keep that in mind there. Now you can see that this is showing the image that I uploaded, the information, like the text that I uploaded. There is I even enable a button here, and it would take me to the webinar page for me to register for it. So, you can think of some use cases there for it. So I think that's pretty cool. You can create real quick on Workspaces. So you can create Workspaces from apps like this one right here. You have to be on the app, and then you can do the drop down and add Workspace here. And this will, okay, do you want to do a new workspace or a workspace from the Workspace catalog? From the catalog, you can do this from anywhere. If you want to do it based on an actual page that you're on, then you will be on that page, you do new workspace, and then you select the current view, right? Otherwise, this won't be available there for a selection. And then you just type here, the name, whatever it is that you want to do, current view, you can do next, select any of this, and you can create it. Now, the thing with this, the use case that I see for it is a lot of customers are asking about, can I duplicate pages in here? And no, you cannot duplicate these tabs. Right? There is no a way to duplicate them. So the way you would do it is by creating different workspaces. Let's say that within, I don't know, by generalist, for example, I don't know, anything in here, right? Let's do this one. And then you want to be able to have this page open, but also have the appraisal dashboard open at the same time, right? Well, you will come here, you will create a workspace for this one. And then you can come to this one and create another workspace, but for this page. And that way you can go, back and forth between those two workspaces doing things on each. That's the workaround right now for the duplicated tabs request. So, but then like people like Noel, for example, will have issues with that if they disable all of the workspaces. So you just have to keep that in mind. So yeah, do we have any questions? I want to make sure that I take the
Yes, we do.
question. Okay.
Okay, so from Robert, if an application is not listed under applications portal, for example, does this usually mean that a security role needs to be assigned?
Yeah, it's possible, but that's a good point, because I wanted to mention that I almost forgot. Thank you for asking that question. I've seen it happen, and it has happened to us. That, for example, you run the migration, and then here you have DEPM or Infor EPM, IDM, Data Fabric, and when you run the migration, you notice that you're missing those from here. You don't have the Data Fabric showing here. You don't have, the IDM and others. They're, for whatever reason, they didn't come with the migration. So those people usually open tickets with Infor, but you can add those applications yourself by going to the application settings here. So if you come here, you can do add application, and because you already have it, it will show you in the Infor provision ones. If you do the drop down, it will be listed here. I don't have anything listed because I've run out of applications to add that were allowed for me there, and didn't come with the migration. So just keep an eye out if you're missing your data fabric, if you're missing your IDM, or even the EPM or other application. This is an easy, since it is Infor provision, it's easy, right? You just select it and it will auto-populate everything else and you just save it. If it is non-provision or a non-Infor app, please go and run it by Infor. It will be my recommendation.
And then another one from Robert is Smart Help. Help is not enabled for this product. It seems like it's an error. It's listed for all products. How do you enable the content? And then we do have a couple more questions, Javier. So
okay.
if
Yeah, this has been, I haven't run into that issue, Robert. I guess we will have to either open a ticket with Infor, or I think it's maybe an in your case, right? I haven't run into that. I don't know. Now the my content here, this is different, right? The Infor content, yeah, it has been enabled for me wherever I go. This my content with training material, this requires a license. So you will need a license for that. We don't have it either. So, but the Infor content, yeah, I think pretty much wherever I go, I can get to some documentation.
And then the next question from Naresh is, will there be any impact on FSM supplier portal?
No, applications remain the same. Everything will be the same. This only impacts this InforOS frame. Other changes are coming. That's a different thing. Like, for example, I decided to keep this view for you guys to get the same view that you're getting with Mingle now. But I don't know if you know, but there is a new navigation coming up. So let's open. I have it here for FSM. And this is how it's going to look like, right? You can see the difference here. So HR talent, like this, FSM, different, right? You get the report catalog down here, notifications in basket. So all of these things up here kind of like go somewhere else. But this is a different, this is not as part of the InforOS. This is as part of this other thing that's called, if I go to the toggle, features, feature toggle here. So for FSM, you have these 4, and you can see when their trial period ends. And you can enable it or disable it for now, but that's the redesign app navigation menu. You can see I have it enabled for FSM. I disabled it for HRT because I wanted you guys to know, the navigational list, and not think that the InforOS is impacting this. That's a different change, which, by the way, is also coming in April, unless they push it. I was on a call recently, and they were talking about some of these getting pushed out. But here's where you will see when this will be enabled by going to the trial period and column. All right.
Okay, and then the next question is from Jeffrey. Is there anywhere to stop the insights menu from popping up right away?
Yes, by going here. See, this is good when you have many apps. The last little thing here can take you back to where you're going. So yeah, here in the settings, general settings, there is the what's new pop up here that you can disable. And I saw it not too long ago. Yeah, so it will be here in these settings. It says the what's new. Let me check if it's back here. One second. No, it's definitely on this one. So yeah, it will be in these settings. I saw it recently. But yeah, it's the pop-up that every time they log in, they get a pop-up here. And I haven't seen anything new in it for a while. So yeah, I have it disabled for that same reason.
All right.
I'm sorry, I
we are
can
good.
spend time trying to find it, but I just want to get to other questions. I mean, that one
No
is,
worries.
I know it's here in the settings, guys. So just, try to find it here in the settings that you'll see it right away. It's called something about the what's new pop-up window or something like that. I see a screenshot here from Jeffrey about the thing that he was asking for, and it says help is not enabled for this product. Try searching online help instead. Okay, we'll have to take this one on, and then I think we're gonna send an email later on with the questions that we couldn't answer on this
Yes.
call, and
So
we're gonna try to cover that one there, Jeffrey.
thank you, Javier. So we will be concluding the session now. We hope everyone has enjoyed this and found it both insightful and beneficial. We appreciate your participation, and if you have any unanswered questions or have any questions, whether they're relating to Infor modules, processes, or any IT service assistance, then please feel free to reach out to us. We'll follow up with the presentation via email, and there will be a QR code sent out as well. So if you guys are interested in that, your engagement and feedback are both important to us. If you're interested in exploring a partnership with Sendian to help manage or enhance your information technology solutions, then we encourage you to reach out to us. Again, thank you so much for joining us on today's webinar. We hope to see you at more.